I'm a marriage advocate, so I have a lot of trouble when people, find out that their marriage is really irreparable. And that does happen sometimes with addictions, with infidelity, with betrayal, with embezzlement. All sorts of things can get in the way of marriage. So during that time when it's obvious that the marriage is not going to make it, that it's dying and that you're going to need a divorce, I think that what makes the transition a little easier for both people and for the children is if you can embrace that there's going to be big changes. Big changes you didn't want, painful changes, but nonetheless changes. And the reason I think it's important to embrace it so early is because it kind of gets your mind set differently. So rather than you pushing away from it, resisting it, saying, no, I won't, I never wanted this, and just being stuck in that anger and hurt and resentment, it will allow you to open up, to see that the changes are happening, that they're going to happen, and that what's going to make it easier and more palatable for yourself and your children and your ex is if you can accept what is about to happen in your life. There's 5 major things that are going to change: emotional changes, psychological changes, physical changes. And the sooner you can embrace these and start working toward these, the easier it's going to be to get to the other side feeling somewhat healed, restored, and less anxious and angry about it. The first of these is you're going to go through a real rediscovery of self. If you've been married for a while, you've kind of lost track of who you are. Usually you've depended on your partner, you've faced trials together. It was always us. It was always the relationship, always the marriage. And now for the first time, it's going to be about you. Everything that you may have tried to tackle together, or you've always felt comforted by, that you have a partner to go through it, it's going to be you now. So the sooner you get comfortable with you, the sooner you understand you really need to get aware of what's affecting you, what's going to add meaning in your life from here on out, who you are alone, rather than looking for somebody to hook up with or somebody to save you or someone to make it all okay, because there isn't anyone that's going to really help you. Our kids are going to look at us. And at the end of the day, if you're looking fragile and you're looking weak and defeated and crying, your kids are going to have a really hard time being okay with any of this. They're going to be angry at the other parent for hurting you. They're going to be angry at you for not doing what they think you should have done to keep the marriage together. But mostly your children are going to be hurting from the breakup, from the big changes it's going to make in their life. So the more put together you can be before that time, before the actual move, before these big decisions, the better it's going to be for yourself and your kids. Secondly, there's going to be a real evaluation of priorities. Okay, what you were thinking was a priority before, summer camp for the kids, or what school they were going to go to, or where your summer vacation was, or, what you were going to do next Christmas, those things are reevaluated. Now you're just going month to month. And where you may have thought you had the funding to do improvements to your house, or maybe even take a lavish vacation, you're going to have to change. Maybe you were going to go back to school. Maybe you were going to go to part-time with your work. Whatever those things are, you're going to have to slow down. You're going to have to prioritize the day-to-day consistency, the living expectations, the lifestyle expectations, and make it once again so that you can afford your lifestyle with your children. What's most important at the end of the day is that your children get traumatized by this memory, by this process, as little as possible. And the best way you can do that is to start, kind of rewiring your brain, like, I can handle this, instead of saying things like, oh my God, this is overwhelming, this is too much to bear. You've got to start saying things like, I'm resilient, I'm strong, I can handle this. God never gives you more than you can handle, and I can handle this. Or little things like, I'm really strong and I will persevere. If you believe in your faith, then go to church more. Do the things that are going to give you strength right now, that are going to help you focus on the person you are underneath. You're going to have to allow for the expansion of your social media. You're going to be texting. You're going to be getting emails. You're going to have new court dates. You're going to have new lawyer meetups. You're going to have new playmates or new activities for your kids. And these are all to be expected. Your life is going to change with who you communicate. You're going to be around a whole nother group. You may be in a divorce support group. You may be with a counselor. You may have a new counselor for your children. Whatever is going on to make this transition as seamless as possible, it's going to expand your social network. And saying, well, I don't do that, or I've never been the communicator, or, I just let emails go, that's not going to be possible now if you want to make this as easy as you can. And that's what this video is about. Because divorce is harsh and it's hard, and the courts don't always give you what you want or what you think you deserve. And I think too many times people get so confused, so overwhelmed, because they're still dealing with the shock of it, that they forget there's little eyes watching them, sometimes grown eyes, their children. And what you don't want to do is give this memory to your children that it was so chaotic, so hurtful, that they can never move past it, because how they go through this is going to have a lot of effect on how they choose a partner in the future. And you surely don't want to mess up or cause them to regret dating, to regret having a relationship when they're grown. You want them to grow up and be able to trust other people, to find comfort in other people while knowing themselves too. So it's important the way you do this while you're going through this transition. Also, you're going to have an enhanced emotional resilience. You're going to see and go through things that you never thought possible. You may have not been able to sleep at night without your partner in the house and in your bed. You may have never imagined living alone or living as a divorced person. You could envision one of you getting sick or dying, but you could not envision this happening. And so now you're going to have to depend on you. At the end of the day, it's you. It's you who goes and gets your kid if they're sick. It's you who does a late night pickup when your kid is an activity. It's you who is the bottom line when they're under your care of disciplining. And it's also going to be you, how you decide to move forward. You won't be able to blame your partner for what they did, and that won't enable or enhance you in any way. What's going to help you further down the line, right now, not right now, but further down the line, is to get very clear about your part of it. What part did you deny? What part didn't you deal with? What part were you shirking your responsibility? And make sure that you don't do those again in the future, because those are what we learn from something that doesn't work. All mistakes are basically teachers, and learning what doesn't work from a divorce so that you don't do the same thing, replicate it in the future, is going to be real key for you, and it's an opportunity for growth. And lastly, you're going to feel empowered, and you're going to feel more confident, and personal growth is going to be unbelievable, especially after that first year. At the end of the first year, you will really be able to look back and go, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm still standing. And that's how many of my clients feel when I'm walking through this path, Don't look at it today and project into the future that you're going to feel as vulnerable and weak as you do today. Because in the future, you're going to grow with every step, and it's only going to get better and better as you get stronger and further away from the date. Marriage is really meant to be, the whole way it's set up, to be forever. But when it's not, it does not mean you're broken. And it does not mean every relationship you're ever going to have is going to be doomed. It's going to mean that there were some mistakes made, that some of those mistakes were irreparable, and whether you were the standing bystander of those mistakes or someone who actually initiated those mistakes, there's an opportunity for you to grow. Whatever you do, at the end of the day, love your kids more than you hate your partner. Do not talk bad about them. Do not make them any less because of what they did. Your kids will eventually catch on. If they continue to repeat these hurtful patterns, your kids will see it. But that's something they can learn. That's not something you should tell them from this point forward. I hope this video is helpful for you, and if it is, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.